he has this mentality about failure and being rejected or making mistakes that is just, ugh, it's so good. Like it's just exactly what I needed to hear. Hey guys, good morning. I hope you are having a fantastic day so far. Today's video is all about one of my all-time favorite people, one of the biggest inspirations in my life, even though I've never actually met him. And I'm talking about none other than Gary Vaynerchuk, aka Gary V. He honestly is continuing to inspire me every single day. Alex and I have been watching his videos every morning when we have our morning coffee or tea, and just like taking in all of the information. And I've just got so many different things that I learned from him, and I thought, you know what? Why don't I compile some of them and share them with you? Some of the big takeaways that I've learned, not just things that he teaches, but just like his way of being and his way of speaking, his personality. There's just so much to learn, and I'm a huge fan, if you haven't noticed. If you haven't heard of Gary V, I will link his YouTube channel in the description box down below. And I highly, highly recommend checking out some of his videos, some of his content on other platforms as well. He is a marketer, he has a media company, he's many, many things, but he's definitely a huge social media personality, and he gives presentations, he gives a lot of talks, which are all recorded and super inspiring. So the first thing that I'm going to mention that he inspires me to do, and it's something that I've been talking a lot about recently and has really influenced my style of videos. If you've watched my last few videos, I let you know that I'm not editing them. I am not cropping them and cutting out the things that I consider to be flaws, the times that I say and ah and all of that. And that is heavily influenced by Gary. I've mentioned this in a previous video, but you know, we watch his videos and he is so not even aware that the camera is there. He says that when it comes to YouTube, he likes to document, not create. And that really got me thinking. He said, like, instead of talking to people and trying to create like a type of a video, which I'm not saying that there's not like an art aspect to creating videos, and like you can curate and create amazing content that is creative and artistic, definitely, and that has its place and has its value. But when it comes to sharing ideas, he likes to just document his life. So if he's in a business meeting, the camera's just rolling in that meeting, or if he's out for coffee with a friend, or if he is something else he does is he goes to garage sales and shows people how if you have no money, you can like go and take $100, buy some stuff at garage sales and put them up on eBay and turn it into thousands of dollars. He doesn't need to do that. He's a very wealthy man, but he does it to show people that he can practice what he preaches. And he's like, look, if I can do it right now, if I can take the time out of my day to go and do this, then I'm showing you can do it as well. And he films all of that. But he's literally, in half of his videos, he's biting his nails, fidgeting, like things that we all do when we're having conversations and we might not even be aware of it. He doesn't, like, none of that is cropped out, and it's just so raw and real, and it feels like you are in the room chatting with him. Like when he's giving advice, when he's talking, when he's doing whatever, like, and even in interviews, like he interrupts people a lot. And Alex and I noticed that in one particular video we watched, and we thought, you know, maybe someone else would watch that and be like, oh, that's really bad that I kept interrupting that person. Let's not show that. I don't want to show the world my quote unquote bad side. But nope, that goes up as well. And there's just something to be said about that level of openness and that level of comfort to share yourself, all the different aspects of your personality with the people that you are trying to connect with. And so that is a huge way that he inspires me. He might not be everyone's cup of tea. He'll admit it himself, you know, in his videos. Sometimes he comes off as very like abrupt and bold, and maybe that's not everyone's cup of tea, but I personally am just learning so much from him, and I'm really enjoying consuming his content. Another thing that I like is that he really places the emphasis. I mean, a lot of his advice is business advice, but it also can apply to just day-to-day life and just living. And so something that he says is to always provide more value. Always give more than you're expecting to get. Don't get into things for the short term of like, how can I make money off of this right now? Like what's my quick way to get rich off of this, or what's this or what's that? Like he's all about how can I provide value? Like how can I go above and beyond today to help someone? And I love that mentality. I love that idea. I just think that there's so much integrity in it. It's something that I really, really appreciate that type of a personality and that type of effort to go above and beyond to help others. And I love that, and I want to be that way even more and more. And I just have so much respect for that. I'm trying to think. There's so many. I didn't write a list. I have no script to go off of at all for this video, so I'm just chatting with you here. Yes, the other thing that I like is that he puts his quote-unquote money where his mouth is. He's not just giving advice. He actually shows people how he does the things that he's recommending. So yeah, I love that. Like he could just be, flying around on his private jet or whatever it is, living a certain kind of lifestyle and just showing that if he wanted to. But I love how he uses the example of the garage sales. He has, I forget what those vlogs are called, but he basically goes out and drives all around, I think it's New York State or New Jersey, and it shows you going up to people's house. He buys baseball cards, he buys teddy bears, he buys collector mugs, and then he puts them up on eBay and shows how much money he makes. And he's just like inspiring people who, like, I think a lot of people reach out to him and they say like, Gary, it's so easy for you. You're already successful, this, that, and the other. You have a huge following on YouTube. And he's like really encourages people who are starting from the beginning and maybe don't have any money or experience. And he's like literally showing them step by step by step, not just telling, but showing. And I absolutely love that. And half of the time when he's at the garage sales, like people recognize him and he'll take pictures with them and chat with them. And they ask him a question and he's so cool and just like answers the question and it's being filmed as well. And I love how there's no different personas, if that makes sense. A lot of us have like our work self, our self that we are when we're out on a date or we're out at a certain type of restaurant, or our self when we're with our friends, or I love that idea of just he's Gary all the time, and it's just there's a beautiful transparency there, and I just love that, like to be able to just be your true self at all times. I think that is just something that is so special and kind of so rare, and I just really, really appreciate it. So I'm going to link a couple specific videos that I really enjoy of Gary's content, and I'll put that out there. Another thing that I love is that he uploads daily. Like rain or shine, he just puts something out. And he's just, people ask him. He also films a lot of like Q&As. So like people will call him up and, have a question about starting their own business, or, things that they want to work on, having social media accounts. And something that he says is, the opportunity of the internet that's out there right now with all of this stuff that is completely free, that is at our disposal to use day or night. We don't have to sign, like it's there for us to just use. And he's like, the amount of people who are so timid and so scared to get started, and they're like, they'll call him up and be like, hi Gary, I'm starting a new business. Should I start on Instagram, or should I do a Facebook page, or I've heard Pinterest is good. Should I do that? And he's like, yes. He's like, do it all, try it all. And I love that mentality of like, what do you have to lose for trying? Like try something, put it out there. Like maybe, like you don't know until you try, but I think like so many of us, myself included at times, are like so scared to like pick a lane and pick something, and we feel like, okay, I chose this now, I have to stay within that because that's what I did, and this is starting to gain traction, so like that's it, I've made my bed, I have to sleep in it. And I love, like there's something so freeing when I listen to the way that he talks about it. He's like, no, he's like, there's no rules. Who told you that you, like, oh, you started an Instagram account and you started talking about this and now you have to stick with that and that's all you can do? He's like, no, if you're curious about trying Pinterest out, try Pinterest out. If you don't like it and it's not working, it's not really your thing, then whatever, at least you tried. And he really, he has this mentality about failure and being rejected or making mistakes that is just, it's so good. Like it's just exactly what I needed to hear. When you listen to something and you're just like, Yes, this is so it. This is so what I needed. This is the missing piece for me. And like his mindset around achievement and around failing is just, it's exactly what I needed to hear.